And welcome back to Lycan Studios. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, we are hopping into the plot leak episode number 5. Before we get started, I do want to say I appreciate all of your guys' support so much. We've been gaining views and subscribers and everything like crazy, but we are nowhere near close to our goal. So yeah, be sure to share the video with everybody you can think of that enjoys Game of Thrones. The goal was to hit 10,000 by the beginning of February. We're already halfway to February, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it, but it was a pretty bold goal. So nonetheless, we're gonna try our best, see how close we can get. And yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate all the support so far. I do want to say real quick, today's shout out goes to Mary Hill. Thank you so much for all your support. You've been liking and commenting the videos for a very long time. So everybody make sure to leave Mary a comment saying you are amazing. And last but not least, of course, make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you do enjoy the video. We got Lila on my lap clapping for the smashing the thumbs up button. And yeah, make sure to follow the Patreon, the Twitter, all that good stuff. You can find it in the description below. Some pretty cool stuff on the Patreon, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying not to shout it out too much, but now that I'm getting really back on the grind and stuff, I feel like I can squeeze it in there a little bit. So yeah, make sure to check the Patreon out if you're into exclusives and seeing videos early. We also do drawings each month. Our last winner was Luce Colin, and she won a Jon Snow pop figure, so it was pretty cool. But all right, let's jump into episode 5. So episode 5 starts off with Melisandre, Kinvara, and Varys traveling by land. They are leading an enormous party of over 25,000 soldiers. Melisandre and Kinvara were able to bring 1,000 men of their own, so pretty much the followers of Rhaelor, the Fiery Hand, all that good stuff. And then they are also followed by Theon, Yara, and the commander of the Golden Company. Basically, they have a shit ton of men, and this does sound pretty good because I think Melisandre and Kinvara will return with the Fiery Hand, and I think Varys will kind of follow their story, and he'll be involved with them a lot. So then it talks about how they were able to get enough dragon glass to fill a wagon, but not nearly enough to arm them all. I mean, it is 20,000 men. They decide to set up a camp and wait for Jon. Kind of weird. How would they know exactly what's going down with Jon? I'm not too sure. So then it sounds like they begin to talk about the Great Other, which, you know, we call him the Night King in the show, and the Lord of Light. I'm sure this will probably get brought up quite a bit. I think Melisandre will play a huge part in defeating the Night King, so I think all this is plausible so far. But they finish by saying the night is long and full of terrors. But tonight, those terrors will be extinguished. See, I don't think they're going to foreshadow in the show how close it will be for the Night King to be defeated. Not like this. So then we just have some cheeky dialogue between Varys and Kinvara. You guys know how I feel about this dialogue for this plot leak. It's awful, disgusting, gross. George is crying. Kinvara says there will be a gigantic battle and we all have a part to play. Cheesy. Yeah, I don't like it. Almost everyone you see here will die tonight. We must all make our sacrifices. I will die tonight. Melisandre will die tonight, and you, Varys, will die tonight. Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna go down like this, even though I do agree that Melisandre and Varys will die. But yeah, so they wrap up the cheeky dialogue and we switch back over to King's Landing. It shows several people gathered inside a big hall, with Qyburn and Euron standing at the top of the steps, and then Cersei being escorted in by the mountain. She's already wearing something displaying the Kraken and the Lion made of solid gold. Definitely do not see that happening. Yeah, there's no way. So basically, Cersei and Euron are crowning each other. I'm not too convinced that Euron will become the king. I don't know. I'm not convinced. What do you guys think? I don't see it happening. So it does bring up the miscarriage once again. Basically, there's no bedding ceremony and all that good stuff. Instead, they go outside to check up on the defenses in King's Landing. It says more pitch and wildfire is being brought up and placed near each gate that enters the city. I don't really know about pitch, but I do think wildfire will be a huge part. And we also have seen the ballistas on top of the walls at King's Landing, so we do know that that will be happening. So then we got our first scene with Jon and Dany flying further south on Drogon and Rhaegal. Before they left White Harbor, Bran said they must go to the Trident, so that is exactly where they are going. They see a massive force making camp near a bend in the river. Oh, is it Melisandre? How convenient. Bran is super forward in this plot leak. I just don't see him being like that in the show either. Like this plot leak just keeps getting worse and worse. What are you doing, Clappy? So they land the dragons, and Dany is greeted by Varys, who is accompanied by the commander of the Golden Company. Varys introduces the commander to Dany and Jon. They are in shock that he was able to pull this off. They had assumed he fled the north to protect his own ass. So basically, kind of simultaneously, Theon manages to take Euron's fleet. Varys manages to switch over the Golden Company to their side. And now Kinvara and Melisandre have arrived with members of, you know, the Fiery Hand. So I don't know. They're stacking up hugely all at the same time. I just don't see it. I don't see it playing out like that. I think that think the odds are going to be stacked against them more than for them, if that makes sense. They talk about how they're all going to die tonight, and John does not like what he is hearing, especially since Melisandre was burning people alive. Yeah, like Princess Shireen. Where's Davos at? John tells Dany that he needs to speak with Melisandre immediately. He also needs to keep Davos away from... Oh, okay. He needs to keep Davos away from her until he can figure it out. Until he can figure it out, really? So basically, John walks over, sees all the followers of Rhaelor, and sees Melisandre, and we have some really silly dialogue, once again, that I'm not even going to read, because, yeah, it's bad. Basically, the moral of the dialogue is that they say the Night King is coming for his replacement. The one who was chosen is amongst us now. He will not stop until he gets what he came for. Melisandre begins to raise her voice. We must give his replacement to the fire, Jon Snow. We must make the sacrifice. Ooh, I wonder who they're talking about. So yeah, they get a big group of people chanting and all this fun stuff, and all of a sudden, little Sam is pretty much the replacement for the Night King. This infuriates Davos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sam would be pretty upset too, as well as Gilly. Melisandre says that it is the only way. You must bring me that child. The Lord of Light has shown me a great sacrifice in the flames, and I am his instrument. Arya pulls out a needle. She is prepared to kill Melisandre herself. Gendry has his hammer in his hand as well. They will not allow Melisandre to take little Sam. Not little Sam. So Bran wills himself over to the fire and says, Melisandre is right. There will be a great sacrifice tonight. Man, I had some bad typos. I've seen the child surrounded by fires in my vision. He turns and looks at Gilly. Your son was meant to be an offering to the Night King, the final offering. He moves close to Gilly and says that he has seen all of this in his visions. Her son is more special than she even knows. Craster's sons were offerings to the Night King. They became the Night King's personal King's Guard, but little Sam was meant for more than that. He was the 100th offering, and he was going to become the next Night King. But yeah, so this is where this plot leak just, oh my god, it gets silly. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Because then we look further into it, and it says that Gilly's father and son have the blood of the dragon. Yeah, I don't really think that they care that they're Targaryens. And how are you going to tell me that everyone is a Targaryen? You know what I mean? There's no way Craster and the son is a Targaryen. There's no way. I just don't see it happening. And even if they were, the Night King wouldn't care about that. If anything, the Night King would care about the Starks, because that's what he most likely is, or was. Yeah, I know, it's getting pretty bad. But anyways, then we have Bran basically saying, hey, it's not going to be little Sam that gets, sacrificed. It's going to be you, Melisandre. So, yeah, it kind of looks like we're starting to turn Melisandre into Nisa. But anyways, it looks like Bran says, I need you to trust me. You must kill Melisandre if you wish to stop the Night King. You must bring the dawn. So, yeah, Jon is going to be the prince that was promised, or Azor Ahai. He's going to kill Melisandre and Lightbringer. Yeah, all that good stuff. So I guess he decides to do it. Melisandre drops to her knees. When they hit the ground, Viserion's scream echoes across the battlefield. The Night King is here. Sam walks over to Jon, pulls out his family's ancestral sword. Sam says, Melisandre wanted to murder my son. I want you to use my sword. Oh, this is so bad. Like, I know I keep saying that, but holy shit. How could anybody believe that this is even partly true? There's no way. It's so bad. But anyways, without even thinking about it, Jon grabs the sword and plunges it deep into Melisandre's chest. Smoke begins to roll out from her nose and mouth. The ruby on her neck glows so bright that it bursts into a red liquid that completely covers the sword, turning it into the red sword of heroes. Pulls the sword out, it glows red, everyone begins to run into position. Thousands of men are scrambling to arm themselves. Dany mounts Drogon as Jon pulls out Longclaw and tosses it to Jorah without saying a word. They all have their weapons drawn. They can see blue eyes through the mist. Wolves begin to howl in the distance. It causes Arya to turn her head to see if she can tell where it's coming from. Jon mounts Rhaegal with the glowing red sword in his hand, and the Night King breaks through the storm, flying faster than anyone has ever seen before. Viserion swoops over the Golden Company and torches hundreds of men in one pass. Dany and Jon immediately take to the sky. Jon tells Dany to take out his army while he goes after the Night King himself. The night sky begins to light up with bright colors of blue and red. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands are dying with each pass of the dragons. There are 24 White Walkers leading the army. That's 24. Half of them are armed with ice spears, as the 2 giants are as well. George, Jaime, Bronn, Beric, the Hound, Arya, Gendry, and Brienne all head for the White Walkers. There will be an epic battle where 7 main characters fight close to 12 White Walkers at the same time. Gendry smashes one right in the face with his warhammer. Arya stabs one in the side of the neck with her dagger. Why is Arya fighting with a dagger? I don't know. Anyways, Jorah kills one while saving Brienne after she falls from the wound piercing her leg. Brienne needs to suck it up. Jaime gets disarmed by one of the White Walkers because he doesn't have a hand, and a sword falls to the ground. Bronn picks it up and kills the White Walker for Jaime. He smiles back and tosses him his sword. Bronn says, if you drop the bloody thing again, I will take it with me. So bad. Man, if you drop your sword again, I'm taking it with me. Every time a White Walker dies, hundreds of whites fall to the ground. The commander of the Golden Company has one ballista in the back of camp. He takes a long piece of dragon glass and fires it at one of the giants. It hits the giant right in the chest and it falls. He tries to hit Viserion, but Viserion is making a fast move. At some point during the battle, Jorah sees a White Walker taking aim at Drogon with an ice spear. He charges the White Walker and disarms him, but he gets swarmed by whites. Yeah, what's up with all this disarming? That's not the goal. That's not the goal. But yeah, Jorah goes down. Jaime kills the White Walker by shoving his sword through his back. Oh, he Kingslayed him. Beric uses himself as a shield as another White Walker tries to kill the Hound. Dany burns both of the remaining giants and torches thousands of whites. The whole encampment is being swarmed by whites. It forces the group to fall back. Jon takes aim at Viserion and Rhaegal lets loose his flame, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. One of the White Walkers hits Rhaegal again with an ice spear, causing him to spiral out of control. Rhaegal just needs to fly faster. So he's spiraling out of control, but at the last minute, I guess he decides to land and Jon has to continue on foot with the glowing sword in his hand. Everyone realizes that the main threat is Viserion and he needs to be taken out now. Taken. The group begins to fall back even further to the ballista. They are all taking shots at him but continue to miss. Finally, Bronn hits Viserion with dragon glass, but it doesn't penetrate the dragon. He hits him several more times to no avail. Arya tosses Bronn her dagger to use as a projectile. Oh my god, it's small enough to slide down the ballista and fire. This is terrible. Bronn takes aim and launches the dagger. It hits Viserion right in the center of his chest. Viserion lets out a scream as he falls like a rock from the sky. The dragon slams into the ground and the Night King rolls off of him into the snow. The Night King stands up and pulls a curved ice sword that was strapped to his back out. The Night King looks at Viserion and the dragon's eyes are closed. He's dead. Jon can see Dany coming back around on Drogon. He waves his glowing sword in the air and signals for Dany to land. Jon wants to challenge the Night King to a 1-versus-1 battle. Every man in white comes to a standstill on the battlefield with all eyes on Jon and the Night King. They walk towards each other until there is only a few feet between them. Not yards, not inches, not centimeters, feet. The Night King is holding his curved ice sword. Jon is holding the red sword of heroes. After a few moments, the battle begins. This is hype. This is what we've all been waiting for. They are just a few feet from each other, not yards, and they are both moving around trying to size up the other one before they commit and possibly expose themselves. Hype, hype, hype. The biggest battle of all time. Jon takes a swing in the Night King's head, but he moves faster and is more agile than the White Walkers. Jon missed by several feet. The Night King counters and Jon almost loses his footing but manages to recover. The ice sword cut through his fur and leather. The Night King swings again and hits his mark, the ice sword cutting and burning through his sword hand. He's gonna look like Jaime. He has to hold the sword in his other hand now, left-handed, southpaw. Jon grips the handle and swings it like the snap of a whip. The Night King puts a sword up to block the shot, but the red sword cuts right through the ice and the Night King is dead. So the biggest battle in Game of Thrones is defeated after 2 attacks. Yes, makes perfect sense. So yeah, like I said, the Night King is dead, everything is okay. The weather disappears, the army of the dead disappears, and Dany can feel the movement of her baby inside her. It's been 2 weeks and she can feel it. It's not even been 2 weeks yet, but the baby is making moves. But good news is, it's not over. They decide they must go to King's Landing. They have to defeat Cersei. We have another conversation between Jon and the Golden Commander. The Golden Commander is telling Jon about the wildfire and the ballistas and the defenses at King's Landing. Jaime and Tyrion tell them that if they can get them inside the walls, they can get them to the Red Keep. There are several ways to enter the castle secretly. What's cool is Arya should actually know as well. I think it is brought up, so yeah. Then we have Cersei, Euron, and Qyburn discussing their tactics in case of a surprise attack. Oh, how convenient. They know about the surprise attack. I don't know what was up with that accent, but anyways, Cersei tells Qyburn that if the city's about to fall, blow it to pieces. Switching back over to Jon and Dany, they land the dragons a few miles away from the city. We have some serious fast traveling. They land at dusk, but once it's dark enough, they plan on sending Arya and Jaime ahead first. Arya used to chase cats all over the Red Keep, and she knows about the storm drain that emptied into the Blackwater Bay. They're gonna steal a small boat, and they're going to paddle their way into the storm drain. Some super cheesy dialogue goes down between Bronn and Jaime, but basically Bronn gives him his dagger, and Jaime says it'll be easier for him to hold. They steal their boat and they make their way into the bay. They pull the boat into the rocks and enter into the storm drain. It takes them around an hour to find their way through the darkness. Are we going to be watching it the whole time? I hope they show us that whole entire hour. I want to know what Arya and Jaime will be saying to one another. But I guess they finally figured out. Arya steals a face, kills some people, and yeah, heads to the wall where the main defenses are. She's light on her feet and very quick, like a cat. She crouches down like a hidden tiger. Wait, I think the dragon was hidden, the tiger was crouching. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon. And she begins slitting the throats of each guard. But she wasn't light and she wasn't quick enough. They sound the alarm. This is Jon and Dany's signal to initiate Plan B. Storm the walls with the dragons. Danny and John know to try and burn the ballistas first. They open up a section of the walls so their forces can enter. Now, from pictures that we do have, we do know that one of the gates will be destroyed, but will it be like this? I would say 100% not. Apparently, Jaime does hear all of this and decides he must act fast, you know, because I guess he was taking his time. So craziness is happening all around, and Cersei orders the mountain to go outside. Don't let anyone in the Red Keep, mountain. And also, Qyburn, get ready to light the wildfire. That's exactly what Cersei sounds like. Euron is apparently leaving to help Qyburn, but nope, he's actually leaving completely. The whole entire city. He's gone. Jaime sees the mountain walking down the stairs, so he hides until the mountain passes. So basically, Jaime's on a stealth mission right now. He sees the mountain, decides not to initiate anything because he probably will die, and then Clegane Bowl goes down, and then, yeah, I think Jaime manages to kill Qyburn? Oh yeah, but let me mention that the Hound manages to kill his brother with a pot of wildfire. Yeah. Realistic. But anyways, back to Jaime shoving his dagger in Qyburn's throat. That's pretty much what happens. He goes down to the handle. Down to the handle. Euron is caught off guard but manages to grab Jaime and take him to the ground. They struggle for several minutes, longer than Jon and the Night King did, but I made myself laugh with that one. Jaime manages to knock out Euron's teeth with his golden hand. Then he stabs Euron in the chest with the dagger that was buried up to the handle in Qyburn. He leaves the dagger and walks into Cersei's chambers next, and then he chokes her out. I am okay with Jaime getting the kill on Cersei, but I do hope it is Arya using Jaime's face. But yep, the scene will fade to black and end with the reigns of Castamere. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, Jaime just went huge. But nonetheless, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. I was trying to be funny with some points. This plot leak just got disgusting to me. Yeah, so many people are like, this is the best one they've ever heard and all this stuff, but like, how could you, I don't know, how could you even believe that the end of that was true at all? I don't know. I mean, it's fun to talk about, but episode 4, this started to get a little bit way too much. It started to get way too much for me. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button. We will be doing number 6. We will be doing episode 6 pretty soon. And yeah, hope to see you there. LycanStudios out.